Okay, so we've got a straight line W is shown on the axis below. And then it says there's another line V which is parallel to W and passes through 0, -5. So when we see that, we can see straight away that will be our C value. Okay, because that's on the y-axis, isn't it? Okay, so for V now, when we're working out y equals mx plus c, we've already got our c because that's where it crosses the y-axis. We just need to know what the gradient is, but they do say it's parallel to W. So if I can work out the gradient of W, and quite simply, we're looking at finding 2 points here, nice points. We can get an appropriate gradient value. So we've got a point there and a point there. I think we can make a big triangle here. So we're going to go across. I think that's 6, isn't it? And then up 2. So my gradient of W will be the change in y divided by the change in x there. So 2, 6 becomes 1/3. So that's the gradient of W, which means then, of course, the gradient of V will be the same. It will also be 1/3. Okay, so y equals mx plus c. Well, we know the gradient there is 1/3 x, and then plus the y-intercept, which is -5. So that's my equation there for V. On the next part then, we've got another line of z, and we're told that it's perpendicular to the straight line W. Okay, so of course, if we go back to the gradient of W, we know that is 1/3. So if it's perpendicular, then of course, if you remember, the gradient then of z will be the negative reciprocal of this. So if we flip this, you just get 3. So negative of it, so -3. We need, we've got the gradient for the equation, but we also need the y-intercept. And it tells us here that it passes through the midpoint of these coordinates here. Okay, so let's work out what the midpoint is of those coordinates. So focus on the x value. The lowest value there is -2. The highest value is 6. So we work out what then is in the middle of those two. Okay, so we could add them and divide by 2. That's how we get the middle, yeah. Find an average, so add them, you get 4, divided by 2 is 2. So 2's in the middle, x is going to be 2, and do the same then for the y. Okay, so y then goes from -5 to 5, and we want to be in the middle. Of course, the middle then would be 0, so that's easy enough to see that. Okay, so the z goes through, what's that coordinate? So x is 2, y is 0. So in this case, we're actually on the x-axis. Okay, so it doesn't give us what the y-intercept is. It just gives us a value on the x-axis that it goes through. But what we can do now is form the equation y equals mx plus c. We know m is -3. We just don't know what c is. Okay, that's the issue. We need to work out what c is. This doesn't tell us it. This just tells it tells us where it intercepts the x-axis. So we need to know where it intercepts the y-axis, okay, to find c. But what we can do is appreciate, if it goes through this point, we can put those values into that equation. It'll satisfy this equation. Y is 0, x is 2. So substitute it in, y is 0, x is 2 plus c. And then from there then you've got 0 is -6 plus c, which means then that c has got to be 6. So we worked out our c just by using that line, that point that it goes through. So we've got y equals -3x plus 6.